In terms of the risk, of course, there are the physical risks of the climate change, which were mentioned, as well as the transition risk. Transitioning to a low carbon economy entails, as I said, extensive policy, legal, technology, and market changes to address mitigations and adaptation requirements related to such. Um, what we see from our clients, from the private sector, is a huge willingness to be part of this climate change. Hence, we see a lot of funds and a lot of human resources in technology, technological efforts being brought up to the table, especially by the energy sector, so that the companies can be agile and adapt to this risk. So some of the risks that we see are obviously the financial risks. So how the financial sector assesses the climate change impact, the credibility and sustainability reporting that the companies will undertake in the future, both financial reporting and non-financial reporting. So it is very important for the companies to take the necessary measures internally to prepare for the new requirements for financial and non-financial reporting, as well as work together with the financial institutions in order to both parties better understand where the risks are and ensure that the financial markets will continue to bring the necessary resources for these tremendous investments that are needed for the climate change, for the transition to happen. Another risk that we see is the fact that actually the reporting risks and the reputational risks of the companies moves completely up to the level of the board. Every decision, every strategy link is now starts now even more than before at the top level of the company. So it is going to be extremely important what kind of declarations, representations, and public, let's say, public disclosures the companies will have with respect to their sustainability goals, the actual plans, and how they will follow up on the implementation of such. So again, we see that this kind of a policy and strategy, it will be very important in the future. Another risk that I would like to mention is actually the litigation risk, which the companies will be held by. It is again because of what it was said, and not only very much awareness from the social, from the society level of what the climate change goals are, what sustainability projects are, how the companies are looking at decarbonization, their footprint in from the, let's say, operational level, production level, but also to the supply chain and all the other aspects which comprise of a company's activity overall. So having that increased awareness, it means that the companies are really held liable to anything that pertains to their actions, their potential lack of compliance, breaches of certain requirements, legislation, undertakings. So it will be critical for the companies to put in place preventive measures, teams that are able to deal with such events, disclosures, crisis management, and of course being able to face the public problem if there is an incident, a hard incident will happen. And I would only point out to the hearings last week held in the U.S. Congress with respect to the major oil and gas majors for past actions. So this is just a showcase of where things can lead lead in the future for companies. So I just wanted to make the transition of our discussion from the overall global policy and outlook on where things stand to a more, let's say, granular perspective of the private sector, because at the end of the day, the policy and these targets are to be very much done, and the hard job is going to be on the private sector. The companies will have to take on board all of these new measures, and so since we have in the today with us some of the most important energy companies in Romania. We have Electrica, the largest distributor, but also with integrated services, supply, and then generation. We'll have OMV Petrom, the largest oil and gas company in Central Eastern Europe, but not only, also an electricity producer, as well as the representative of the Association of Power Generators in Romania, and the representatives from the banking sector. I think it's good to close this circle and maybe hear the thoughts of the representative of these companies, so that we can have let's say a 360 look on how the transition feels on the ground, in the very let's say hard day-to-day decision making that the companies will have to take. Thank you very much.